You did not even send me airborne anyway. Why in the world I'm around, it's hard to say. You did not even send me airborne anyway. Why in the world I'm around, it's hard to say.
Hello, everybody. Thank you again for joining us for another episode. I think episode 16 now of
Wow.
Fanfiction with Teddy and Peter. Joining me, as always, is Peter. Hi, Peter.
XVI. XVI.
XVI. Which,
My favorite Roman numeral.
oh yeah, because we talked about XV is handsome, but XVI just with the one eye
Yeah.
is also
Yeah.
pretty handsome.
Yeah.
But we're gonna have to change the title just a smidgen this week.
Sorry about that, everybody.
Sorry for the confusion, everybody, because it's
Yeah.
not just Teddy and Peter reading fan fictions on the podcast. It's Teddy and Peter and
Yours truly, Nick Coker.
hey.
Woo!
Of course, you're the resident scientist.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Nick Coker is probably Nick is probably the smartest person that we've had on the podcast.
Oh,
And we've had a
okay.
lot of smarties.
Yeah. That's not. I mean, except with the exception of Nico. I mean,
Probably
everybody on our podcast has been remarkably intelligent.
Right.
But Nick, I think, is. I mean, certainly the most like
At least-
really intelligent.
Yeah. Yeah, you're on your way to being a real life doctor, isn't that right? Nick?
Yeah.
That is true. I work at the NIH right now, so
Like, this guy is a
Yeah.
hero,
Right.
and
I mean,
it's literally an honor to know him, and even
and to have
greater
him on
honor
the
to have
pod,
him on our
yeah.
stupid podcast.
wow, this is too high of praise. Too high. Of praise.
No. I mean, and I think we're bringing on a fan fiction today that is, I think, matches the status of our guest. for
That's
sure.
true.
This collab has been kind of fermenting. I don't know. I don't think that's the right word.
No, that's right. That's right.
Has been fermenting for a while, and we always knew that this particular fanfic we would do with Nick Coker, and I can explain it. So, I mean, the listeners will already know by the title that what we're looking at a fanfiction called A Nintendo Fan's Lust by Josh Cube 2. Now, this is a seminal work. I'd like to think in the fanfiction world, but definitely to our friendship.
Yes, for sure.
So to kind of, without going into specifics, to broadly say, a lot of us met and really became friends in the environment of playing Super Smash Brothers Melee in Page. Nick, you live there, I live there. Peter would come over and visit.
I mean, it wasn't like it was far away.
No,
You
it
know.
was, he would have day trips over
Yeah,
to Page
yeah.
Hall.
Sometimes spend the night. I don't think I ever spent
And
it.
you did eventually live in Page.
I did
So you
eventually live
you
in
did
Page,
fulfill that
yes.
requirement.
And honestly, I
Right.
lived in Page at a time
You lived there like
when nobody
twice.
else lived in Page. Oh, I guess I lived
Yeah.
twice. Yeah, I lived there twice. Yeah, my bad. Okay,
Right.
whatever.
So you have your own creds. But so, I mean, this fan fiction is really the birth of really this whole idea.
Yeah,
I'd say,
definitely.
like, this podcast doesn't exist without us finding
Yeah,
this
that's for sure.
5 years ago, because what we would play Nintendo, and there would only be 4 controllers because
Yeah.
there'd be a lot of downtime, and however you come up, like, think of the idea to start looking up fanfics, we came upon wow, Freudian slip there, but
Shut up.
well, I mean, as the listeners will see, but we found this and we read it, and it quickly became a cornerstone of it. It was the first of what became not a regular, but a pretty long-standing ritual where every once in a while I would read fanfic while people were playing, because I like doing that.
And I think most people got pretty tired of it, except for me and Nick.
Except, yeah.
And I mean, even the other people we've had on this podcast were not, big fanfic lovers.
No.
But this one really stood out as a seminal piece of.
Well,
Right.
and I think this piece still stands out.
Oh,
Truly,
of course.
I think you can tell this one is still like the preeminent.
I mean, it hits like a fucking truck, without a doubt.
So that's the perfect segue into saying, like, this will probably be the first one that we've done that I'll issue some kind of warning. I think,
yeah, I would say
because
so.
this one is really lewd. Like
Yeah.
this is a first for our podcast where this is just like a sex fanfic.
Yeah. No, I mean
yeah.
it's porn. It's all the other times that there've been like anything sexual in the fan fiction. It's either been us reading into it or it's been secondary. This is primarily porn and secondarily a fanfic.
Right. So we're breaking new ground in the pod here. I mean, behind the curtain, you and me, Pierre,
we've read all of it.
I mean, we've read, but also just talked about when we would start bringing true smut
that's true
into the circle. And now
today's the day.
Today's the day.
Wow.
So thank you, Nick, for joining us.
Oh,
yeah.
It's all my pleasure.
So it's A Nintendo Fan's Lust by Josh Cube 2.
So I wanna quickly jump. It's not just a Nintendo's Fans Lust. It's a Nintendo's Fans Lust 2012 rewrite.
Rewrite. So I don't know what the old version. I don't know.
Yeah.
This is the 2012 rewrite. If anyone can find the original.
Archive.org, the Wayback Machine to find Josh Cube 22's original Nintendo Fans Lust.
So the description is Josh. I love that because so rarely is the author's name in the thing. So I like to think this is a person whose first name is Josh and last name is Cube. If they're using the first name. So Josh enters the Nintendo universe and gets laid by the women he grew up with since childhood.
I just like to imagine this guy just like has no friends, but not just like in like a demeaning way. He just like has literally never met another human being. Just all he does is play video games in his like he's locked in his room playing video games.
Brother, I did a rough skim of this. It's been since the first time we read it that I've like really read this, and Josh Cube knows who he is, but on a deeper level doesn't really at all. But I love this rewrite was published on Christmas Eve in 2012.
Wow, the horniest Christmas it was.
And there's horniest Christmas Eve on record, and there's 11,000 words to this, 22 reviews and 12 favorites. Now we're not gonna read the whole thing; that would take much too long. But it's very episodic in terms of like sexual escapades. So I think what will happen is we'll keep an eye on the time and come to a natural stop. Because it's really this beginning part that really is. Because then eventually it's just like different.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever read all of it. It's really too much. I think we've read the end, but it's not even that worth it.
No,
as far as I'm concerned.
So yeah, let's go right in. It starts with a disclaimer.
I'd say also just a quick note.
Yeah.
This is almost entirely center justified. So like all of the like text is like coming from the center, which is such a weird choice. Like you need to like make that decision. Like how did he come to that? Like what was going through his mind?
It adds such weight to it. It feels like I'm reading like a scroll.
It looks like you're reading the transcript of like some like Supreme Court decision or something. like every word that was said in like a 3-hour like Supreme Court is in there.
We deem a Nintendo Fan's Lust as guilty
of being horny as shit.
It also like changes the spacing periodically too, if you notice. Like
I mean,
Anyways.
JustCube22 does not have a great command of Microsoft Word, which
No.
whatever.
Whatever.
But without further ado,
Yeah, so it starts with a disclaimer, as it should, but the disclaimer doesn't, I don't think, is the disclaimer it needs. Anyway, this is a story about me, the author, having sexual intercourse with Princess Peach from the Super Mario Bros. Series, Princess Zelda from the Legend of Zelda series, and Samus Aran from the Metroid series. I would like to note that the Zelda character playing in the story is not. I like that he's a Zelda character playing, like how in Shakespeare times they called actors players.
yeah.
Yeah.
Playing in the story is not the blonde version from The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, but the brunette version from The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess.
How is this a disclaimer, even remotely?
Well, because he
That's just a
Josh-
preference.
Yeah.
well, exactly. Josh Cuban is like, listen, you might get a little less or more horny depending on which Zelda you like. The Samus character is also not the blonde version from the New Age Metroid.
Of course.
New Age Metroid games, but the classic green-haired version from the original NES Metroid.
Which was like in 16-bit. Like,
it's
if
not.
you're getting horny to that, like, you gotta chill out, bro.
I did not want to have 3 blondes total because I want to spice things up a bit. If you want to play as the classic Samus in Metroid, enter Justin Bailey in the password mode. The character Kamek Koopa in this story made.
Wait, hold on.
Whoa,
What?
whoa. Don't try to slip this Kamek Koopa reference past me. I love the little video game hint, if you want to see, because that's true. I remember learning that in my days as a true gamer, that if you put in this code in the NES Metroid, you could get a Samus wearing.
But could you imagine finding out about that from this? You're about to get into this 11,000 word porn, and you're like, oh shit! Wait,
More
I
for me
gotta
later.
put this on
Yeah.
brakes right now. I gotta
Whoa,
go
my
boot up
NES is upstairs.
It's like I got all
Back in the
these.
desktop.
Yeah.
I got all these Playboy mags, but I also have my NES still plugged in.
Met Koopa. No.
Yeah, I was about to say, imagine this is the first time you heard of Kamek Koopa, which I'll flash an image on the screen right now, but I'm also just going to look up, because it's the wizard one, I
I
believe.
think so. No, isn't that?
Yeah, no,
It's the
Oh,
wizard
it's
one.
the
Okay.
wizard.
no, yeah, it's Kamek.
Magic Koopa. Which one's Magic Koopa?
Magic Koopa, I think, is the grunt version of Kamek Koopas, but Kamek Koopa is the head one because they have a name. I could watch an hour and 20-minute long video called The Evolution of Kamek Battles 1993 to 2019.
Please don't.
Anyway, yeah, that's a huge yeah. Anyway, the character Kamek Koopa in the story first made his appearance Super Mario World and serves as a captain under Bowser. This story contains very mature sexual scenes.
Of course.
No, it doesn't. Strong language, and you should be at least 18 years old when reading this. No, you should not. You should be 14. It contains scenes of sexual body fluids, including
a lot of sexual body
fluids. including fluid splashing, fluid drinking, and detailed descriptions of female fertilization.
Oh God.
Yeah, I'm putting a listener. You know what? Nico, I should say, our only consistent listeners.
Nico,
you know what you're getting into. Yeah. It is your responsibility if you email, post, or direct this story to anyone outside of the original website that it was posted on. If you repost it, please only do so in an adult forum, complete with all this text and the disclaimer. None of this fanfic should be butchered up into pieces. Butchered, oh my God, and submitted throughout the internet without the legal warning. This guy's really scared.
Yeah, I know.
Oh.
Yeah.
What?
Oh, I thought, and all the text that is
No.
included in here. Also, no emails with crap such as, dude, you seriously need to get laid. I'm 27 years old, and I'm getting married to my fiance next year. What's it called when it's virtue signaling, but it's like sex signaling?
Oh,
I think that.
I think, yeah, just sex signaling.
Precisely.
I like to think next year is 6 days from this, 7 days from this, because it's like next year is January 1st, 2013, and this is like the last time he's ever like allowing himself to do this.
Yeah.
Next year in Jerusalem, a
Yeah.
Nintendo fan's lost. This story was made for fun, pleasure, and anyone that wanted to enjoy it. If you have read the
Thank you.
original 2005 version, okay, of a Nintendo
Jesus.
fan's lust, this rewrite is an update that contains more detailed sexual scenes
Yes.
and is more explicit compared to the original version. Okay, so
Wow.
it's
So
definitely
that's the college age
had
version then.
sex, and then he rewrote it.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Wow.
Imagine sitting on this thing for 7 years. Like, oh my God. You're like, every time you like think of anything sexual, like, oh, I gotta put that in the fanfic.
It's the
For
Nintendo
7
fans'
years.
lust vault.
Imagine being the girl who got eventually translated into green-haired bit Samus because of
Yeah, they read this and like, wait, that was me.
Wait a
Wait, that
minute.
happened with
That was
me.
such a beautiful night, and I
Josh
can't
Cube?
believe Josh Cube 2 put it into this fanfic. Anyway, so
I'll never let Josh Cube stay over.
the story starts proper. The story is great because it sets it up proper.
Yeah.
It was dark outside with rain pouring outside my window. On days like this, I usually like to wrap myself in a blanket and listen to my iPod. My favorite kind of songs I loved listening to were ones that had emotion. Linkin Park was my favorite band because of this.
You know, I gotta say, I
Yeah.
hate songs with emotion in them. All the songs I listen to are emotionless, completely
That's not true.
bland.
You listen to all these Steven Universe songs, and those have emotion in them.
Yeah, no, that's true. I just don't know what a song is that isn't emotional, in
That's
fact.
true. But all songs are emotional, but songs that are labeled as emotional then
Yeah, that's true. It's true.
tend to lean a certain way. Linkin Park was my favorite band. It made me think how things could have changed or happened. It gave me a sense. It gave me a sense of feeling to where I realized what reality was really about, especially when it was a loved one. Being 19 years old in Arizona, many girls were interested in me, but I turned them all down because I was depressed. Why? I guess it was because I just felt they weren't the one for me.
We read this when we were 19, and I think that's really one of the reasons it resonated with us.
Yeah, I think this resonated some parts, even though we knew this was like disgusting and stupid.
It's an exaggerated version of what we felt on a daily basis.
Oh yeah, I mean, I know for a fact that if this was spring of freshman, I was still a virgin at this point.
Epic.
So I don't know.
Think it was,
maybe I learned a little something.
I guess it was freshman year. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, hit it.
And later learned that there's no such thing as the perfect woman. I believe that what caused this was me playing too much video games and thinking everything was a fairy tale. Princess Peach was a kind woman that loved to take walks at the fireworks, play a game of golf, and cuddle at a fire.
Those are all in video games. Those are all scenes in a video game.
They're all these romantic cutscenes. Princess Zelda was a woman that enjoyed dinner by candlelight, loved to go on picnics, and held your arm while you had fun at the fair. She doesn't get to have fun. She just helps me have it. Samus Aran didn't seem to be the romantic type, but she was still very beautiful.
Who cares?
Yeah. Her tomboy personality made her the least of my favorites, but she looked like a gal that would love to have fun with you.
I forgot about that.
These thoughts inside is what made me feel hurt, and I knew within that the chances of finding a woman like these three were close to 0%, which is what you stock with in Super Smash Brothers. The women nowadays, oh, this is awesome. The women nowadays were sluts, gold diggers, wore pants, smoked cigarettes, dressed like hookers with tight jeans and big breast implants. And it was a complete turnoff. I love that he admonishes these women for wearing pants, but also calls them sluts.
Which is what like Zelda does. Like that's literally what she does. That's like a core part of like one of her, like personalities within the games.
Is this what Arizona?
And so does Samus. Samus literally wears an exoskeleton.
Like
is
a
that
suit all the
tomboy?
time.
Whatever.
Anyway, I had this belief inside me that women in general just weren't romantic, and was just completely different from my expectations. This was my mistake I made at this age thinking like this. And now I lay here on my bed with my iPod, listening to sad songs while the rain continues to pour. What a sad mistake I made, rejecting all these women that came to me. I feel that they will be gone forever, like a rose bell in the wind, a furnace going out, a shooting star in the sky.
I love semicolons too. It's so bizarre. It's
Wow,
not
yeah.
quite how you use them,
No.
but it's like like you should just be using a comma there.
Yeah, like,
But like,
with the list format, you can do this, but you don't
yeah,
do that at all.
like why would you ever do like it's just a different key you should be pressing.
Right.
Slightly to the right. Or no, let me look. Down and to the left, yeah. If I was given a chance to enter the Nintendo universe and meet these women, hint, hint, I would be the happiest
Guess what's gonna
man
happen in this
the world.
fanfic?
Yeah. I gazed outside my window at the stars, and me being a religious person, I began
Of course.
praying. Wow. I prayed and expressed my love for them and why I want to meet them. This there's so much going. This whole fanfic is divine right.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. It's so weird. It's so weird because it like accepts what like the premise that we're saying is stupid about it, which is like, yeah, he should grow up and like get a girlfriend and like stop being weird. But then it just like does it anyways.
Right.
Oh, I was answered. So he prayed and was answered. And I heard a voice in my head. This is like, what's the Martin Scorsese movie with Martin Garfield? It's Andrew Garfield. Where they're
Silence.
Silence.
Yeah, it's like
Andrew
silence.
Garfield's he's like in the basket at the end getting burned,
Yeah,
and instead of the cross, it's like the script.
Spoilers, everybody.
Yeah, sorry.
So if you haven't seen Silence yet, I saw it on a plane.
I saw it on Christmas. I cried so hard. This bothered me a little. I begged because I wanted them so much, and I got a response saying not to give in to my emotions. This bothered me a little, so I got up from my bed and went to the window. I said that I was willing to sacrifice my life and wanted my spirit to go to heaven to be with them. The voice inside my head gave me a sign saying this was pitiful. Okay.
That's
I
fair.
vibe with that, yeah.
Yeah.
Moments
I like
later-
this voice in his head a
Yeah,
lot
I
more
like
than
this
him.
odd person quite a bit. Moments later, it began thundering. The sky outside my window flared white flashes, and the noise became loud. I don't know, just loud. A lightning bolt hit the pole of my house.
Okay.
Poles in
5-year-old's understanding of how
architecture.
that works.
And sent a powerful electric current to my room. The lightning then powerfully struck inside my room, lighting it up with electric shocks, white flashes, and loud crackling and thundering noises. I ran towards my bed and grabbed the post. What is this post? In surprise of what was happening. The electricity started causing other odd things to happen, such as my gaming stuff floating in the air and wind blowing around the room. I was
Spooky.
shocked because I couldn't believe I was seeing something that was supernatural before my very eyes. Yeah, how do you believe in God now, Josh Cube 23?
Yeah. The wrath of the Lord has come to you. And what do you say? I like Nintendo.
You know, Cain, Abel, Moses, Abraham, Josh Cube 2. I was shocked because I couldn't believe I was seeing something. Yeah. Suddenly, a swirling purple portal opened up in my room and grew several feet in circumference. I started yelling real loud, as I watched in horror, thinking it was some form of evil trying to suck me in.
And in a way, it was.
Suck him off.
Yeah. The portal started to pull me toward it like a vacuum. So I held onto the bedpost as so was the lightning striking his bedpost? Is that the post?
I have no idea.
Oh, he was saying pull. Okay.
I think there's a lot of misunderstanding going on.
Some inconsistencies.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, my hair was blowing in the process. I feared entering because I had no idea where it was going to take me. Oh yeah. If this was the point of no return, death's door, I wish I hadn't asked for it in the first place. The vacuum became
That was
stronger,
quick, you dumbass. You were just saying how you would have died so that you could have sex with Princess Peach.
And I was losing my grip with my fingers slipping off the bedpost. With enough force, I was finally pulled inside with purple electric current surrounding my body. See, here's the thing. like
Yeah.
with all
Hit me
these
with it.
video game fanfics, the idea of the purple evil straight from like Zelda, where Ganondorf, like
Yeah.
all his moves have that like purple magic, and like
Yeah.
in Mario, like
Yeah.
it's just all their ideas of things are just sourced
Yeah.
from video games, which is partially why these are so interesting, is what I'll
Yeah.
say, and demented. Because I mean, I think me and Peter, we vocally, we always say fan fiction is something we don't want to put down or like have stop happening.
Yeah.
But this might be one where I think this should not have happened.
I mean, I think probably like the 2005 version was probably a little bit more chill.
Maybe. It's hard
I
to
mean, like it was probably like less thought about. Like this is clearly somebody who like reread his smut fan fiction and like looked
Ugh.
for grammatical errors in it.
Which sucks. That 7 years.
I know, and it's like that's part of the joke. Like that's
It
part
does
like
kind
if
of
you don't
suck.
have like weird grammatical things in your fanfic, like you're trying way too hard.
You're missing the point of the
Yeah.
fanfic.
Yeah.
So he goes through the portal. Moments later, my eyes opened after I noticed I had fainted, and I found myself floating through a mysterious realm. I thought to myself that perhaps this was a realm of time and space that connected the Nintendo universe. Why? Why
Oh,
did
yeah,
you think that?
of course.
Why did you think Nintendo was at all involved in this? And I looked around, seeing many giant-sized bubbles that had other worlds within them. One of the bubbles contained a world with castles, villages, monsters, and elves. The second bubble I saw contained a world with big cities and kids throwing balls on the ground and creatures coming out of them. These bubbles were obviously worlds that were connected to the video games that everyone played.
What are those? What video
I don't
games are
know.
those?
I don't know at all.
What video game do children throw balls at the ground?
Yeah, I know the first one is
Children
Zelda.
don't play like that.
Just throw balls. These bubbles were, yeah. This was very exciting for me, and I knew to myself that my wish was finally going to come true. I was going to meet the women of my dreams and be a very happy man.
Oh, you're gonna get happy, Josh.
Yeah, I was like, he's so sure in the logic of this story that things are just gonna, he's just gonna get what he wants.
Which he does. I mean, to be fair.
It's a weird, like, semi-consciousness between, like, the author and the character that the author also is.
Yeah, it's very weird. Very, very bizarre. And I really wonder if his wife knows about it.
Yeah, omniscience.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, apparently, if you according to this, it's like he would prefer to be. I mean, the woman of his dreams is Peach, and his wife is some tier below Peach.
Right.
So she has to look at that for.
I mean, maybe she is Princess Peach. Maybe he's writing from the Nintendo universe.
Yeah.
It's like this is all true.
I looked behind me and noticed I was headed for a crash landing into one of the worlds. I was unable to identify which one this was for some reason, and when I finally hit it,
let me guess.
I blacked out again.
I'm gonna guess it's the Mario universe, and he's gonna meet Princess Peach and Samus Aran and Zelda.
Yeah. My eyes slowly opened and they were very blurry. I did not know where in the heck I was. When the blurriness started to clear, I was able to make out 3 women that were looking over. One of them held a cold rag to my forehead and wiped it around. The other 2 were patting my face.
A well-respected medical tradition, right, Nick?
Right.
The cold towel and slapping your face.
Yeah.
Nick. If you were, you know, present as a up-and-coming doctor and you saw Josh Cube unconscious in a Nintendo world, would you say this would be the correct treatment?
Oh, I mean that's word for word protocol. Are you kidding me?
Cold rag, soft slaps.
The more slapping people with towels you do in a medical facility, the more proper it is.
Especially with COVID.
Yeah, especially with COVID.
My blurriness cleared, and to my surprise, it was Peach from the Mario series, Zelda from the Zelda series, and Samus from the Metroid series.
That's so surprising. I would have never expected that.
Her power suit, except that her helmet was not on her head, and it was resting on top of the table. The table.
What table?
Peach was wearing her casual pink dress as always, and Zelda was wearing her white dress. Josh, said Peach, rubbing my head with the rag. What's going on? I said, blinking my eyes. Hey, are you all right? Said Zelda, looking down at me while knelt on the floor. My eyes widened and I got a bit scared. I got up fast and stood there looking at them. Is this for real? Did I seriously die and enter the Nintendo universe? I said, looking around
you
me
can
a
see
bit
him
worried.
you can see him with like the big droplet of sweat from like an anime.
This is very, again, yeah,
Like,
that's a good
Sugoi?
point. Very anime influence in the
Is this
tree.
for
It's like
real?
popping. It's like the lines
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
corner.
exactly.
Like his eyes are just like the circles.
Boing.
Yeah, boing indeed. It actually worked. Oh my God. I can't believe it, I said, looking at my hands with a slightly hushed voice. I went and sat over at the table with Samus while Peach and Zelda did as well. So tell me,
Nice.
is this world for real or am I dead? I said, looking at Samus. You didn't die. Your man in the clouds was tired of you constantly asking, so he granted your wish, said Samus, while she pulled out a cig and started lighting it.
Yeah.
I forgot about Josh Cube doesn't like that though. He doesn't like
No,
it.
he doesn't like that. I just want to
Yeah.
also
But
point
Samus
out,
is also
like,
the least attractive to him because she looks like a boy.
I guguess all of those children in camps on the border weren't wishing hard enough to be reunited with their families.
Right.
Yeah, Josh Cube's prayers really went to the top of God's.
Yeah.
Yeah, the horny requests outdid the refugees.
Oh,
No asylum seekers will get to see their family tonight, but Josh Cube 22, he gets to shit on Samus's chest.
sure. Oh, and so coming up is I think the most iconic line from this is the
Yes.
we screenshotted it when we read it back in like early 2016, and I think Peter, it was in your possession, it got bandied about, but I remember vividly, and we would say this.
Yeah.
So Samus smokes her cig, and he says, "You mean to tell me he created this universe, or was this here all along?" I said, looking at Peach and Zelda, and we're not exactly sure. All we know is that Shigeru Miyamoto is the god of this universe. As for how it is possible for you to travel from the real world to here, it is as big a mystery to us as it is to you guys of how the universe was created, said Zelda, looking at me with her arm on the table. Just arm on the table.
Zelda waxing metaphysical on the nature of God.
And Shigeru Miyamoto. Who cares about all this mishy-mashy stuff? It's going to be fun having an outsider from the real world here, said Peach, looking at us and clasping her hands together. Now, so they've always known that there's a quote-unquote real world, when really the question they should be asking is what is the nature of real at all?
I mean, I think a good question is he dead? Like, what is the difference between being dead and this? Like, there's nobody in his world that knows.
Yeah, if he's not real, then at least as far as the understanding we have, then he might as well be dead to the real world.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, I'm very excited that I am here.
Well, anyways.
I'm very glad that I'm here, and I'm very excited. I've wanted to meet you guys since I was a kid, I said. We were sitting in a bedroom which contained a ticking clock, fire burning in a furnace, and a bed. This room was connected with other rooms. Oh, really?
As houses usually are.
Yeah, such as the kitchen, bathroom.
Shit, no way, bro.
Yeah, sick pad, bro. Rooms with other rooms. In this room, I noticed there were a few Mario-related items lying around. This raised some suspicion, but I decided to keep quiet. What? I have a question. Where are the other video game characters? And if you three are from other games, how is that you are all in the same world here? I said with a look of wonder. Ha, silly, said Peach, closing her eyes for a brief moment and waving her hand at me. In the Nintendo universe, we're allowed to travel between worlds since Miyamoto created Smash Bros.
Thank God Miyamoto created Smash Bros.
Travel into each other's worlds.
Amen.
I mean, this is a whole other episode, but this alludes to the most important fanfic of all, which is Subspace Conquest, yeah. But we won't go into that right now.
Just look it up.
Yeah. The other characters are out doing other things right now, said Zelda, looking at me with a plain face. I sat there stretching my arms and then placed them behind my head. Kid, I think you should rest, said Samus, blowing smoke from her cigarette. Why, I said. Traveling through dimensions causes you to get dimension lag. If you need to rest, there's a bed over there, said Samus, pointing at it. Thanks, guys. I said, thanks, guys. I said, walking over to the bed and then climbing on top of it. Ugh, my body. Hey, girls, would it be okay if I could get a massage? I said, laying there
Hell
looking at
Well,
them. So
and
bold.
that's like the first drastic turn.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's not a huge segue. Not a subtle transition, I think. Oh, and you want us to do it? Said Peach, looking at me with her fist pushed against her cheek.
I remember this line too.
Yeah. No, I want the knights to do it. Of course I want you girls to do it, I said.
Like, what the
Oh.
fuck is he talking
Oh,
about?
that's so
Where even
cringy.
is he? How does he know where he is? Like, he doesn't know anything. Why
How
isn't
do
the
you know
first
there are
question?
knights there?
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like, why
Like,
isn't the
what?
first question out of his mouth? Where the fuck am I? Who are you?
Also, why is the Mario like apparel or whatever
Yeah.
this thing? But meeting Peach and Samus in real life is like, oh, that's commonplace. Whatever. Oh, Mario clock, dude. Am I in Nintendo?
Am I in Nintendo? Well, I'm an expert at keeping the body fresh and healthy with massages, said Samus, tapping dust from her cigarette.
Cigarette,
into the
yeah.
tray. Yes. Oh.
Damn.
Baby, no. Sweetie. Really? Well, gee, you're a damn good fighter, so I'd never expect that, I said, still lying there.
What an
Samus,
idiot.
what a fucking moron. Samus came over to the bed, sat down, and started massaging me. She gripped her hand into a fist, pressed down on my back, and rotated it in different directions.
That feels so good. That
Yeah,
like
I would
sounds
like that,
unironically
yeah.
so nice.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's great, Samus. You're an angel, I said with a relaxing voice. Zelda and Peach came over to the bed. Here, I will work your arms. Peach will do something else, perhaps, said Zelda. Oh, God, so lazy. All these,
Yeah.
said Zelda, beginning to massage my arm. What's an arm talk in this?
Yeah.
That's fine, I said.
He's built.
The
He's got some
moan and
fucking
relaxation.
pythons.
Yeah. I started to drift into sleep while the girls massaged me. Moments passed and one of them flicked the lights off, so now it was darker in the room.
Usually what happens.
Yeah, typical. I had noticed that I was on my back after they flipped me over, and all three girls were still on the bed massaging me. I don't mind how you girls do it, I said. Samus
Three
says,
girls, one back seems like a
Three girls,
bad
one back.
ratio. Seems like a really bad back to hand ratio. I mean, there's only so much back and too many hands.
Right.
Samus's hand started massaging my shoulders while Zelda was rubbing my right foot and Peach was rubbing my left foot.
That sounds
Samus's
nice.
hand began rubbing my stomach, and then she paused for a moment. She glanced up at me for a quick second, and then she slowly lowered her hand towards my underwear.
Yes.
Visor up.
So I guess, I said, yeah, there's going to be it's about to start, folks. So if you don't want to hear it,
Nico, this is when you cover your ears.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
boy,
Nico,
this is when you
cover
cover
your
your
ears.
ears
Yeah,
and just
Nico.
say la la la.
Honestly, Nico, you should just get
Nico,
out of it right
babies come
now.
from storks. Don't believe otherwise.
There is detailed description of female fertilization though in this.
Yeah.
So.
Mention the disclaimer, that's for sure. Samus, what are you doing? I said, looking at her. Massaging you, she said, while her hand continued to slowly go lower. But I said, her hand slid beneath my underwear, and I gasped a little when I saw this. I felt myself slowly getting an erection.
Oh, shut up. You would have had an erection.
Yeah, I was about to
before
say,
this,
no
dumbass.
way. You are hard as a rock already, my friend. Miss Samus, I said, beginning to blush. You girls really like me, I said. Oh, yes, we adore you, said Sam. Oh, God, said Samus.
It's so terrible.
While she unzipped the zipper on my jeans with her left hand and then lightly pulling my underwear down a bit with her right thumb. Then she grabbed my jeans, slid them off my legs, and then threw them down onto the floor. I lay there, embarrassed, with my penis erected in my underwear. Zelda and Peach
like a normal guy.
removed my shoes and socks, and then tossed them onto the floor as well. I pulled my shirt off and then tossed it with the other clothes. I was now completely nude, except I still had my underwear on.
So you're not completely nude.
So you're not nude. Just you and your default erect penis.
In his
Sa-
underwear.
Samus stood up and pressed a button on her power suit. It made a loud mechanical, and hissing piece by piece, just like in her final
Yeah.
smash in Brawl.
Exactly. Yeah.
Piece by piece, they fell to the floor, along with her arm cannon and metal boots. She stood there posing in her red Justin Bailey suit and long, beautiful
Hot.
green hair. She reached
Hot,
behind
hot,
to where
hot.
her zipper was and zipped it down, and her suit fell towards the floor. She now had her white bra, stockings, and panties on. I looked at her body and thought she had a pretty good figure.
Fucking asshole.
What a fucking dickhead. I could see her ass through her panties, and it seemed kind of flat, but still turned me on in a way. I was getting tired of seeing models with busty asses. I wanted something normal for a change. She
You know,
reached
like
her hands.
the fictional characters, Samus. Something normal, like the mercenary that travels to different planets
in Nintendo world.
and murders aliens.
Oh god. She reached her arms behind her bra, then pulled it up. Her right breast plopped down.
Oh
She
god.
lifted it, and the left one plopped down after.
Which is so like not real either. Like what the fuck?
Her breast size looked as if she was almost a D cup, and her nipples were large, round, and thick.
Oh
She then slid her
god.
panties
I
down
think
her
those are
hips
technically
and-
called areolas, not just the nipple.
Thank you,
I think there's a lot more.
Those
than
are
that.
areolas and nipples being described.
That's the first comment actually. Nick Coker 27 comment.
I think you messed up the anatomy, sir.
So
He
she
messes
slits-
up a lot of things.
Yeah.
She slits the panties down. I could now see her green-haired cunt, which was hairy
Oh
and
god. Every
Oh, yeah,
sentence brings something new and just
Oh, but this
absolutely
was also.
disgusting.
I remember
Yeah, that
this.
was a good one.
She had
Yeah.
long, beautiful Caucasian legs
Yeah.
with nice curves on her hips. She was completely naked and she looked hot as fuck. I couldn't wait to get my hands on her.
It's so
Peach?
weird. Like this is so bad. Like
Ugh.
Caucasian legs. Like come
Caucasian
on.
legs. Peach, that stood
Birdie's
up
been
and
in this world
her
for
pink
10
bed.
minutes.
Yeah. They don't like have the Caucasus in the Nintendo universe.
Yeah, it fell to the floor and she stepped out of it. She stood there with her pink bra, pink stockings, and panties with a mushroom pattern, like little
course.
toads. She reached behind her bra, removed the buckle, and it fell to the floor. Wham! Both of her breasts jiggled when the bra was removed,
God.
just like in the anime.
That has an exclamation point after, but
Yeah.
it's like
Ugh.
we're removed.
She was a C cup, and her nipples were about medium-sized. She removed her panties.
Why does
and
that
I took-
matter? Who cares the
Yeah.
size of nipples are?
And I took notice at her ass, which was large, petite, and curvy. That is
Wow.
so
Large and petite.
like have your
Separated by semicolons, too, by the
Oh,
way.
shithead. Yeah, lots of semicolons in that.
What a
list.
disgusting sentence of the English language.
Yeah, it's just so
that
like
entire thing is just horrific.
it's like you can have your smut to a degree, but just to have it so unreal and just so like just to fuck you to like reality,
Yeah.
it almost makes it like less offensive. Like at least like you
Yeah.
just know like this is
Well, that's what's so weird. It's like you would think if you just read like 2 paragraphs of this, you'd be like, "Oh, this is obviously a parody." But it's 11,000 words.
yeah.
It's like you can't sustain a parody for that long. Like this has to in some way be genuine.
Yeah. I also saw her cunt, which was blonde, but not as hairy
God,
as
I
Samus's.
hate that he uses that word too. It's so gross.
She had long, beautiful Caucasian thick legs, with slightly less of a curve at her hips than Samus's. I like that Josh Cube 2 is like this nice balance of virtues between the women, where it's like where one lacks, the other provides. So it's
Yeah.
it's really then the perfect triforce of fucking Nintendo
Yeah.
women.
It's
No,
like
he's thought a
Goldilocks
lot.
and the Three Bears.
This was becoming too much for me. I got a bigger erection and my dick started to get hard. Zelda then stood up and undid her blue dress, which I thought was white. It fell to the floor and she stepped out of it. She stood there with her blue bra, blue stockings, and panties with a Triforce pattern.
Of course.
Of
Where do you
course.
buy
She-
that in Hyrule, by the way? Where do you buy
don't
panties with a Triforce pattern on them?
I think the soldiers made it for her.
Is that in the bomb shop? You can get that in the.
What food do you have
You
to
can-
combine to
Yeah,
get
you
that?
You can get bottles to put red potion in and Triforce panties. No jiggling came from her breasts when they were exposed because her was a small B cup size with small nipples. This did not bother me, and I still thought this was awesome. I actually am a fan of small breasts. Unlike other men that are just into huge whoppers. She removed
Just
her panties
everything
and
is so disgusting.
exposed her ass, which was cute, petite, round, and smaller than Peach's. I also saw her cunt, which was brunette, and it was good to
I've
see a
never
different color for
heard.
a change.
Besides this, I've never heard like a hair color assigned to that body part. Like it, generally speaking, is not like the first thing you think of. Like you say, like a brunette person. You don't
Yeah,
like that's not a
you don't
that's
say a
not
brunette cunt.
that's like not a thing, right? Like
No,
that's
this
not
is.
something that
No,
people say.
absolutely not.
You can really describe the pubic region without going into all this cunt speak. Anyway, she had long, wonderful Caucasian legs that were nice and thin, along with a slight curve at her hips. I couldn't take it
weird.
anymore. Not only a blonde and green-haired babe were fully nude in front of me, but so was a hot brunette to top it off with. My dick got harder and semen started to leak out. I
Oh
just couldn't believe
God.
it. I was going to have sex with the women I grew up with from childhood. Oh
Yeah.
my god! Enter
This man must
Freud.
love his mother
Jeez.
or his
Yeah,
aunts or
Yeah.
something.
jeez, God, this is so
Go
fucked.
fuck your mom, Josh Cube too. Get it over with.
I just like why does it matter that they're Caucasian? This is so interesting to me.
Yeah.
Why is it
The
just their
Caucasian,
legs?
the harping
Why
on
are
the
they not
Caucasian
all
leg.
Caucasian?
Yeah, I don't know. Josh, get ready for the night of your life, said Peach with arms out and acting happy. My goodness, I don't know what to say, I said in shock. Shocked? Isn't this what you wanted? Said Zelda with a smile. I've loved you girls since I was a child, but you're doing this for me? I said, still surprised. Don't play dumb. The real reason you came here is because you want to fuck us.
It's true.
Childhood nostalgia? Romance? Bullshit. You wanted our asses the day you reached puberty, said Samus, with her right hand on her hip and deceiving look on her
See,
face.
like that's this seems like a parody, but it's
Yeah.
the rest of it is so like detailed that you can't call it a parody.
Yeah,
Well-
I find it ironic that Samus is the one he's the least attracted to, but seems to be speaking the
The
most
most
truthfully.
interested, most
Yeah.
reciprocal. Also, that statement insinuates that like they've known him before, but he just met them.
Yeah.
And the way that he like narrated the story.
Well, it
Yeah,
seems
the
like
way
they
knowledge
know.
passes is weird.
It seems like
Yeah.
they have as much interiority to his like prayers as Shigeru Miyamoto, the god of this universe.
The
does.
god. Yeah.
Yeah, which is like that raises a completely different metaphysical question about the way that this universe is
Yeah.
constructed.
The
But
nature
at
of
the end of the
being
day, it's
all
like
of
this is
me.
just all porn, so I guess it doesn't really matter.
Look, I can't help it that I am a man, okay? No, you're not. When I got older,
He's
I started to-
27. He has a fiance.
yeah, I'm getting married. When I got older, I started to think of you guys in a different way. I still love all the childhood memories, and I cherish them all, I said. Oh, really? Does that explain all the dirty pictures you saw of us on the internet? And how do they know what the internet is? And getting off to them almost every single day, said Zelda with a
Every
smile.
day. That's, I mean, oof.
Oh God! Look, and yeah, and how you yelled our names when you ejaculated onto the carpet. Shame on you, Josh Cube.
That's
Shame
so.
on
That's
you.
like an expensive, like, you know, you got to do
Yeah.
You have to rent one of those like carpet cleaners.
Yeah,
That
do it
shit's
into a
like,
sock or a paper towel, my friend.
I mean, literally a paper. The sock is weird
Yeah,
too.
the sock is
Well, that's what amiibos are
problematic
for
as
now,
well,
right?
What?
but- Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
No,
Okay.
jerking off onto the amiibos. You're right. Yeah, and how you yelled out our names when you ejaculated onto the carpet. Oh, Peach. Oh, Zelda, I'm coming, said Samus, chuckling. The girls all started laughing and giggling. He even photoshopped pictures of himself banging us. It's a thrill,
Okay,
said
that's
Peach, laughing
that's
with her
absurd.
hand over her mouth. Yeah, that's. Why
Could
is
you
this
imagine,
so
like,
funny to you guys? I said with a slight frown on my face.
you buy $699 worth of Adobe products so you can Photoshop yourself having sex with Princess Peach?
Because you men are all alike. You see something on your TV screen and want to screw it, regardless if it's real, said Samus with a smile. I like Samus,
Yeah,
but I know
that's like
she was written by Josh Cube, so I don't like it anymore. I sat there with my arms folded and continued looking at them with a slight frown. They giggled again for a bit. Enough of this small talk. Let's give this pervert what he wants, girls, said Peach, striking the air with her right fist. Like,
I can
yeah.
totally imagine that too.
Like when she gets a hole-in-one in Mario Golf.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's precisely what it was based off of, so I mean,
Mm.
it makes sense.
They again sat down at the bed, and Samus slid my underwear off, seeing that my dick was sticking up. She grabbed it
Epic.
and started to rub it, moving her hand up and down. She looked at me with a smile on her face as she did this. You like that, don't you? Said Samus. Yeah, that's good, I said, watching her.
You know,
Yeah,
what you
that's
say. That's what everybody says.
Pretty good.
Samus then lowered her head toward my dick and then opened her mouth. She put her lips on the head of it, and then her head slowly moved down while it slowly entered her mouth like a popsicle.
Oh god, dude.
Lowest of the
Every,
low.
it's just like so insane how every sentence tops the next and just like
Right.
disgusting
Mm.
vulgarity.
I want some too, said Zelda.
Which is gonna get worse.
Zelda went over to join Samus in the dick-sucking fest. Samus moved her head up and down in a
God.
normal pace, and she continued to suck it. I could hear her make a sucking sound as she did this. Samus stopped and rose her head up, and I saw her saliva on my dick. Zelda opened her mouth, begging to suck me. She sucked while moving her mouth up and down, and I could feel her teeth rub against my dick. It did not hurt. It just excited me even more, because her teeth were pushing against my sperm tube.
Oh fuck, dude.
Excuse
Just,
you? Yeah. Yeah,
how do you
I gotta.
type that?
Yeah,
How do you
Ooh.
type
so-
sperm tube?
Yeah. To those of you listening, the plan is to stop after like the first sexual encounter. So I think at this point it's not
Yeah.
too long before we call it, because this is just how much do you want to hear this? She did this for about a minute and then stopped and raised her head up. I noticed that a stream of my pre-cum was on her mouth, and it was still connected to my dick. Some of it seeped onto the bed, and the rest of it seeped from her lips and down below her mouth.
Dude, at least use dictionary.com. Like, come on.
Yeah. Yeah.
See-
Getting a
Seeped in, like-
blowjob from an elf was pretty cool. But
By the
what would
okay,
it
this was
be like
actually
to
something.
fuck her?
This
Yeah,
was something
okay.
I remember we talked about. Is Zelda an elf?
That's a
Yes.
great question.
No,
She
or,
is.
well, I mean, they
Isn't
don't
she a
use the word elf.
Hyrulean? She's a Hyrulean.
Yeah.
No, you're right. Right.
Yeah.
No, you're right. She's technically Hyrulean, but the ears, I don't know.
Like
It's-
elves are like Tolkien. You know, they're not like
Right.
Nintendo.
Josh
Right.
Cube is taking some poetic liberties here.
Yeah. Well, I think this is clearly not canon, but
Right.
Right.
you know, still, I would prefer it to be, you know, at least a little bit more accurate.
I bet that would be awesome, feeling elf pussy for the first time. Oh my god, you guys are good, I said, enjoying it. I love the taste. Nice and sticky, said Zelda, pushing her finger into her mouth. Peach crawled over to me, and then I looked up, watching her step over me. From my point of view, she squatted down and slowly lowered her ass towards my face. With both her hands, she spread her pussy with her fingers, then pressed her pussy against my mouth.
Classic.
Her knees and palms were now against the bed, and I started to lick her. It tasted sweet. I used
Which
my
is
hand
like,
to
oh,
press her
that's
leg.
like so like he's never
Yeah.
done that.
I mean,
You'd know, like that's like it's
yeah,
not
not to cross
bad,
the line,
but, like,
but it doesn't taste sweet.
no, it does not taste. It's so many more flavors than just sweet. You know,
Yeah,
it can't be summed up in just a word.
it's like umami.
I think the word you're looking for is Miyamoto.
Oh, God.
That one's for
I
you,
use my-
Nico.
I want to at least get to when he enters one of them, and then
Yeah.
being able
Right.
to, and then we'll wrap it. I use my hands
No,
to
that's
grab her
fair.
legs, and I repetitively licked
It's a
the
good-
soft
it's a good
rose
goal.
petals of her vagina. My head was seen moving up and down in motion behind her ass.
By whom? Who
Oh.
was that seen by?
Yeah, I was about to say, seen by who?
This is
I guess the
a
other
little
two.
passage into the passive voice, I guess.
Mm.
Thank you,
Mm.
Josh Cube.
Oh, I'm really embarrassed now. I said.
Same.
A bit
That's
of
also what the reader said
self-consciousness,
when
yeah.
he got to that part.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I licked her. You should be, said Samus, watching us. This is my first time, I said. Well, I think it's time for the next step, gals, said Samus with a perverted look. Let me go first, said Peach, whispering in their ears. Okay, said Zelda, whispering back. Zelda came
Okay.
up and laid next to me. Well, because Peach is his favorite. Well,
Yeah,
Peach
Peach is
shifted her body
clearly her
around
favorite.
to where she was now
Favorite.
facing me. She grabbed my dick, stood up halfway, and positioned her vagina at the top of it.
Classic.
Wait, guys, I'm a virgin, I said with my eyes widening, exclamation point. You're a virgin? Well, not anymore, said Peach with a deceiving look on her face. That's the second time.
Wait,
This
they
is
like
deceiving.
know that he's a virgin too. Why does he stop? Like, what is the point of that? He's been saying that for the entire story.
All right. So, okay, here we go. There's a little bit left, but I want to get through.
Are you gonna get through the? Are you gonna do this whole paragraph? Because this is.
Yes, I'm gonna do this whole paragraph.
It's a pretty class. It's a pretty classic. I mean, it's pretty
Yeah.
insane how he just maintains the, like.
The
This must
the
have
level.
taken days to do. Like, this is.
Yeah.
You don't bang this one out. You know, this is.
No, you do not.
Take effort.
Right.
So here we go. Here's the coup d'etat. Peach quickly dropped down onto my pelvis. My dick slid inside her pussy, and my virginity was gone in a flash. She screamed
Obviously.
in pain while I felt my dick breaking through her hymen web, and I went in shock and
God.
gasped while my eyes widened. My dick finally got inside the depths of a pussy after all these years. This was my first time feeling it. While her screaming subsided, she sat there looking at me, saying nothing. That moment, she looked down and slowly raised her body up. Her pussy lifted almost all the way from my dick, and she looked down. We saw her blood seeping out onto my dick,
God.
and then it slowly began streaming down it. Oh my, she said in a hushed tone. How in the fuck was she a virgin? She has been kidnapped by Bowser countless times, along with the Mario Bros constantly saving her. It then finally came to me. She was a virgin because the Nintendo games did not have sex scenes in them. Bingo.
Obviously.
Yeah. She lowered her body back down, and my dick slid all the way back into her vagina, causing us both to moan when it re-entered.
She also
started to
doesn't have a
bounce-
vagina in the games.
True, we've checked. She started to bounce up and down on my dick, and I could feel the walls of her vagina hugging it. Her round breasts would flop up and down every time she bounced on me, along with the bed springs making a creaking noise. It was the greatest feeling ever. This felt like a porn flick. I grabbed her hips while her pussy tightened on my
Jeez.
hard dick. Then my dick started to get wet. It was covered with a mixture of wet
Was it not
discharge
wet
and
before?
blood. Oh, yeah.
Wait, no, you got to read that sentence again. Sorry, Nick, but
It
it's a
was
good
covered
point.
with a
It's clearly a
mixture
good
of
point.
wet discharge and blood. She stopped bouncing and then began to rock her hips in a back and forth motion. She did this for
like
a while,
sex.
then began moving faster. The bed's frame started smacking against the wall every second. Bang, 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 and we would occasionally still hear the bed springs. I couldn't believe I was fucking Princess Peach. This felt so good that I felt like I was going to pass out. My heart started to pump fast as I started getting flashbacks of how we first met when I was playing my NES, back when I was 6 years old. Oof.
Yeah,
I saw
imagine thinking about
flashbacks
being 6 years old while you're having sex. That's
of the
clearly.
axe disappearing while Bowser fell to his death into the lava, and how I first laid eyes upon her. Back and forth, baby, back and forth,
You're
said
still
Peach while my
going.
dick
Oh my God.
continued to slide inside her. So, how does it feel to bang the woman you grew up with? I guess you
Stop
could say
saying
we're
that.
big sisters to you, said Zelda. Ah, that makes it even hotter, I said with a smile. I do kind of like how kinky Josh Cube 2 is.
I hate it. You do? You like that? That's like my least favorite part.
I don't like reading about it, but I like it generally. Zelda hugged and kissed me while Samus started masturbating, watching Peach getting violated on my dick. Samus
Oh.
pushed her fingers in her vagina and began stroking herself. She moaned while she did this, and Peach's breasts continued to bounce back and forth. Holy shit, I said with excitement. You like it, huh? I know you would, you little pervert, said Peach with a plain face and her mouth slightly open. We're getting to the climax here. in both senses.
Oh yeah, I
Peach tried to
forgot about
bounce on
that.
my
Yeah.
dick again, and her ass smacked against me repetitively while I watched her breast bounce up and down. It felt so damn good. I started to feel an orgasm. Peach,
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna come. I said,
Spelled wrong.
moaning.
Spelled wrong, by the
Yeah.
way.
Yeah, spelled wrong.
COME. That is
She's gonna
that's a
visit
him.
misspelling.
And panting fast. Go ahead, I don't mind, said Peach, grabbing her breasts with her eyes closed. But you'll get pregnant. Also not 100% correct.
Well, okay, let's
I mean,
chill
well,
out, bro.
I mean, well, she could, but I mean,
She
it's so
could,
Josh.
but she's also a fucking video game character.
Yeah.
So I mean, Baby Bowser exists, or Bowser Jr. rather exists. So let's not say anything.
Mm. But you'll get pregnant, I said. That's what makes it hot. I don't care. Just go for it, said Peach, moaning. All right then, bitch. Here we go. I said, all right, last paragraph. I grabbed Peach's hips and then with a thrust, slammed my
Ugh.
dick into her vagina. We both came to a complete stop with her big ass resting on my pelvis, and then moaned loud while I began unleashing my sperm inside her tunnels.
Oh, is that like a reference?
Whoa.
Like
I
the
don't think so.
underground world?
Like the
stuff?
underground. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
Yeah.
La-la-la-la. Peach's head flicked backwards with her eyes closed, and her crown fell off.
She was still wearing her crown?
Crown? My dick shot gushes of sperm
Ugh.
out into her, and each
Terrible.
shot filled the
Gushes.
depths of her vagina up. She also came. Oh, of course she did.
Yeah, but that's not the point.
Yeah.
She also came, and her discharge began covering my dick inside her. This felt so damn good, and my dick
Oh,
felt
yeah.
like a banana being covered with chocolate syrup.
Oh.
Rose up, and my dick slowly pulled out from her. It was covered in blood and discharge, along with a stream of cum that was attached from her pussy to the tip of my dick, and was slowly slipping downwards onto the bed. We were no longer virgins.
I think that's a good place to, yeah.
Wow.
I mean,
Wow.
imagine. I think looking at, we might have actually gone about halfway through this, but Jesus.
No, I'd say like a third.
So there's 22 reviews. Oh, people wait.
Oh, there's a commentary.
People hate it.
Well, yeah, I mean.
Well, I mean, we'll know, but like every time we've read comments, people have always liked.
That's true.
Fan.
That's true. Dude, we forgot. There's a
the
commentary.
right.
Yeah, that's a deeply important. I'm rereading this now. You don't need to read all of it. I think the first sentence of the second paragraph.
Yeah, that's what
important.
I just read. Yeah.
I had taken an English 2 class at my college because of a degree I'm working on, and I did well in the course, scoring an A-. This class really helped me improve my writing skills, and I thought I'd use the skills to help fix up this fanfic. Possibly to write more fanfiction in the future if more people enjoyed this one.
They didn't.
They did not,
No.
as we will say. Last 2 sentences. Stay tuned and keep beating your meat to your favorite Nintendo games. It's nothing to be ashamed of.
And then it's like a little like a
little
carrot underscore carrot.
Yeah.
Like,
So here's some comments.
gross.
I'm going to read all the ones on the first page.
By the way,
ending
this
with
guy
3
definitely
alone.
voted for Elizabeth Warren in a primary. There's no way he didn't.
Yeah.
Like, this guy is
Warren
big
son.
Warren energy.
Kufin Corona says on February 8th of this year.
He called it.
Yeah, called it. Not sure if troll or just another sad case of being raised by a single mother while suffering from autism. Oh, God.
Jesus.
Or just another example of why you shouldn't use the internet while high on meth.
I really can't say I disagree, but like, damn.
But also, yeah.
Yeah, like, whoa.
I don't think the meth thing is very accurate, but guess says very good and very hot. Except Samus's hair is blonde, not green. Palutena's hair
He
is
explains that.
I think you should read Shay's comment.
Loved it. Please continue it. Guess says, this is just as bad as Earthbound, my version. In other words, this sucks. Guess says, eat. Guess says, what the fuck? Shay says, my friend Natalie thought this was so hot. She absolutely loved it. Please write more.
My girlfriend from another school thought this was really hot. You wouldn't know her because she's from another school.
Yeah.
You would know her, but she really liked it.
Yeah, she really liked it.
You won't meet my girlfriend, but she likes it. And then
The
this
the
is.
guest one is pretty funny. They're like
Yeah.
the October 6th one. You gotta.
Oh yeah, is this a troll? If so, hat off to you, you master troll. You got me. If not, you're outright pathetic. Your wank fantasy is dull, poorly written, with no knowledge of character, the refractory period, or logic. The biggest problem is Josh Cube doesn't acknowledge the refractory period. Is your wife horrifically obese or fabricated? Cheers. Ooh,
Cheers, T-Man.
Sign
T-Man.
T-Man.
Yeah.
That is an insane dig. Is your wife
just got
horrifically
obliterated.
obese or fabricated?
he got destroyed.
That's so funny. That's like
Great.
maybe one of the funniest things
Yeah.
I've ever read.
Guest says, great fiction. Don't listen to normie faggots about their racism and other shit. Would love to see part 2.
He's the racist one. Josh Cube 22 is the racist one.
Well, so I saw that and I was like, what's the racist thing? And I think it's in the second half. And this last comment on the first page addresses it. So I think we'll top it off with this one. This is a bit of a
Okay.
rant. Only the Truth on October 12th, 2014 writes, this story was a meh at best. Throughout the story, I found that you contradicted yourself multiple times, making the story harder to follow. Also, this story was so smut, it was sickening. After having sex, you have the main character, Josh, impregnate everyone. In case you didn't know, most religious groups don't encourage having sex before marriage.
I
Not
didn't
to
know that.
mention- Yeah, and not to mention the writing made me wonder if you actually did revise the story. If you did, then just how atrociously written was the original. And the comment about fucking Samus, and I quote, like a black man who didn't give a shit about child support, end quote, is extremely racist. I'm
That
with
is
you
quite
on this,
racist.
yeah. Also, what made you think that putting the original Samus in the story was a good idea? I mean, you're going with not wanting more than one blonde in the story as a reason. Wow. So now you discriminate against black people and blondes? Oh, that
blonde
is
lives
the
matter.
sentence
It's like-
of 2020.
It's like, you know that meme where it's like the football player and he's like, they really had us going in the first half.
Oh yeah.
It's like, damn, only the truth. I thought you were one. You thought you were a real one, buddy.
I thought you were a real one, a truth one. I honestly think that people were laughing at your show because of how little you know about sexual intercourse. A stream of blood pouring out of the girl's vagina when she loses her virginity? Really? I don't think I need to go any further with this topic. In the end, the story boils down to nothing but a perverted fantasy that somehow took a written form. Actually, scratch that, because it took a horrifically terrible written form.
Which is still a written form, but whatever.
Yeah, but thank you.
Thanks only the truth.
Thank you.
Wow, he must have had a shitty English too, professor.
Yeah.
Or have
geez.
gone
it's
to
true.
Because
really
even regardless of-
mediocre.
Regardless of
college.
topic, yeah, the grammar is not that good.
I mean, just at least an
No.
English 2 teacher that doesn't know what a semicolon does.
Yeah.
But that guy's
Or
friend
understands
Natalie
what
thought it was
seeping
hot.
means.
Yeah,
Yeah,
or
Natalie
that
liked
one,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, shout out to Natalie. If you're listening, Natalie.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're listening,
Here
Natalie,
you go.
my
You're
phone
not
number is.
listening, Natalie, yeah. Well, I think.
Hey
this
Natalie,
is
here's
gonna-
my social. 1, 2,
Yeah,
3.
this is my social. If you will send
Yeah.
me your-
Hey, Natalie, this is my bank account number and routing number.
Well, man, that was.
It was a tough one.
Yeah, I think this is our longest. Gonna turn out to be one of our longest episodes.
I think it's
well,
so fun.
well deserved. Yeah.
I will I'll give the listeners Nico a peek behind the curtain.
Yeah.
Ted actually was thinking about making this a 2-parter, maybe even a 3-parter. But I mean,
No.
I don't think so. I
don't
barely
want to,
got through
so.
that first sex scene. I mean, when Zelda said, "I guess we're big sisters to you," that was kind of that was the last nail in the coffin for me.
That's the line in the sand.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah.
Incest.
Well,
But
it's
yeah,
fun,
I think this fic has really spoken for itself.
it was a nice
um,
trip down memory lane, though.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, I could picture myself whenever you were, reading it as
Yeah,
a freshman.
I got certain sentences brought
Yeah.
me right back. That
Yeah.
was pretty fun. Thank you, Dr. Nick, for
Yes, thank you, Dr. Nick.
for for joining us. Such a pleasure.
Oh, of course. Thank
Long
you
time
for
coming.
including me on this. I
No
think this was
problem.
the perfect fanfic for someone who doesn't read fanfic probably as much as the average guest. I would hypothesize at least.
Sure.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
this one was good because I mean the writing speaks for itself. I mean, truly.
Definitely.
Right.
I mean,
It's-
honestly,
it's
we
all
probably
out
could have.
there.
Ted probably could have just read this, and it could have been like none of us talking, and it probably could have been an episode by
Right,
itself.
right.
So,
Yeah.
I'm just made that much better by Nick Coker's inclusion here. So,
Yeah,
thank you so
A
much.
little bit of
again.
commentary, of course, of course.
So thank you and sorry for listening, everybody. And we'll catch you on the next one. Thank
Yep.
you.
Thanks so much.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.